There shouldn't be any question at this point that I'm a huge Postal fan. Always appreciated its unapologetic nature when it comes to juvenile humor, and it being a series that honestly is unmatched when it comes to total chaos. And when it comes to anything involved with the Postal series, I'm usually diving right in. I'm going into whatever worlds it needs me to go into. I will dive into whatever butts it needs me to dive into. And today we're going to be diving into the Postal Man Shoots Twice. This little joint was made for Postal Jam. Now, Postal Jam is a little competition that Running with Scissors puts on, giving single developers a chance to get their game showed off for the world to see, at least on Running with Scissors website. And I love community outreach programs like this that really say, hey, look at this, you guys develop games, well, develop a game for us and we'll see how much people like it. Well, this was supposed to be originally one of those, but it didn't really hit the deadline, so it came out a little late. Because I'm the king of knowing things for some reason, I found out that this was kind of a main joint that you needed to play according to the Easy FPS community. And the Easy FPS community is growing pretty steadily, considering people like DOSman are out there just kicking absolute amounts of ass. They're pushing in so many pussies that it's just ridiculous. Say hide your wives, but to be honest, you're probably all incel virgins who don't even know what a pussy smells like. This wonderful experience starts off with you literally delivering mail. Yeah, that's right, you're delivering mail because you're the postal man. You're for some reason now working for the post office.
That doesn't make any sense. Wasn't the postal dude just going postal, not actually being a postman?
How would you know? You spend too much time glazing Master Chief's cock to know what's going on in any other video game.
That's more than you've got. You're a stupid ass sitting over there with an elongated clit.
Haha, very funny, but you're forgetting the part that I have balls, Cortana.
They're more like saggy ovaries.
Get it? Can I get to the fucking video?
For fuck's sakes, don't get your thong caught between your lips.
Now that I actually can get back on track, I want to talk a little bit about how sparsely populated this area is. Hey look, it's Rev Plays Games, but really you only got about 3 NPCs that live in this entire town, which is kind of disappointing to be honest with you. Now I understand that not everywhere has to have a full city of people, but this is Postal we're talking about. If you played Postal 2 or Postal 4, even Postal 1, those places are fully dense, lived-in places. Even Postal Brain Damage, the suburb area, was filled with regular NPCs just living their normal lives. I do have to say, this is probably the first easy FPS editor game I've seen with full cutscenes like this. It's something that I think is really interested in. They're animated fairly decently, even though the guy kind of looks like a emo anime twink version of the Postal dude. The guy has the incel levels on lock. I have to say, that's 100% factual. Did think it was funny how they decided to rename Crotchy to Drachi as like a nod to Postal, even though this is supposed to be like a Postal game. I don't really know what he's trying to do here, and we're gonna have a lot of that throughout this video. Bro was just kind of taking the Postal dude's cum, misting it, and spraying it all over this game, but really never really landing anything solid anywhere. It was something I noticed right away. Take, for example, the first full cutscene. You get to your little incel base, you go to sleep, you wake up, you're getting talked to by an evil voice, you get a main look at the new Postal dude that this guy created, which is just pictures of himself. And I get it, it's an indie game, he's going to take pictures of himself, he's going to make himself look like an incel. I'm not shitting on him, I'm talking about the character. If you guys are out here thinking, oh, he hates this developer, he called him a incel twink, I'm not feeling that way, guys. I'm just letting you know what he turned the Postal dude into. Told by an evil voice that there's an alien invasion going on, and you gotta go take care of it. So you open your little closet, which just has an ample amount of guns. Well, really not an ample amount, I think it's like 3, and you're gonna go take care of all of these aliens for this weird voice that woke you up in the middle of the night. And at least you got the shovel right for the melee weapon. You can't have a Postal game without a shovel. But something I noticed throughout this whole conversation he had with this weird demon voice was this game cares a lot more about the game Hatred in Postal 1 than he does for the rest of the series. Postal 1, I get it, it's artsy fartsy, it's a kind of a look at how video game violence affects the world or whatever, but I have to say, you gotta kind of make the game fun to run with that violence if you're going to run that idea. It's one thing that I knew the Postal, at least Postal Redux did really well, was the game was fun to play. I don't really like the way that this game plays at all. I don't like the weapons, that's for sure. I think they're incredibly underpowered. I do like the fact that you can save the NPCs, like the 3 of them that you found early when you were delivering mail. But you're gonna notice something really fast, that every enemy is a hit scanner, and the problem with them all being hit scanner is the draw distance. You can't fucking see where they're at. They could be standing above you, jizzing in your fucking mouth. They could be spraying their pussy juice in your eyes, and you wouldn't be able to see them because of the fog that they put in this. Not to mention that all of the weapons kind of feel underpowered. The only weapon that actually feels good even slightly to use is the machine gun, because the machine gun actually seems to put people down and kill people in a decent amount of time. As a stark contrast to the shotgun where it feels like you have to be like right up in somebody's ass for it to do any damage. It has no distance, which is a super big problem in this game considering everything's running at you from a distance and you can't always see them. So by the time you see them, you just want to put them down, but by the time you see them, you also fucking die. So it's just kind of a really irritating combat loop. I wish you would have done projectiles instead of hit scanning because it sucks. You really can't see where your enemies are and that you have this whole open map to deal with so they can be coming from any angle. It's not like they're pre-put in there. They're spawning at random. So you have all of these different elements working against you in this hub area when they should have just sparsely made the entire open area to begin with while you're delivering mail with a bunch of cops, a bunch of citizens, all these people, and then in the second portion made them aliens. It would have been much better so that it's a flowing map. You already know where, you already have an idea where all these people are. You already kind of have seen where they're at. Now when you come back in and they're aliens, you're like, holy shit, they're aliens, I gotta kill them. We'll get back to why that makes sense a little bit later. I want to kind of talk about the level design a little bit more than I already have. Again, it's much like Hatred and Postal where you're basically spawned into an area and then you have to kill a certain amount of enemies to proceed. Now you have only two kind of bigger open areas. To get all of the come off of my chin, I'm going to say a compliment for this game. Again, I think these open areas are really kick-ass. I think they're really well made. Everything you're looking at looks good and awesome. It perfectly fits the Postal IP, except for now you're not in Arizona, you're up in Colorado or some shit, somewhere that gets snow. Arizona doesn't get a lot of snow, if you didn't know that. One could say they are really lacking in God's jizz. To be fair, if he would have done even a couple more areas like this and made the enemies a little bit more manageable where you could see where the projectiles were coming from, I would probably love this game. Maybe not love it, but it would be a good game in my opinion. But these areas get tedious really fucking fast. So goddamn tedious that I would rather be staring at a painting of the worst penis ever made going into the ugliest vagina. They're just both covered in an obscene amount of STDs. They're like seeping with pus and stuff. It's like, ugh, sending shivers down your spine. I'd rather be looking at that than going through these areas. It sucks because I think there's a lot of well-designed enemies here to play with. You have your normal aliens that are kind of in their purple jumpsuits. You also have ones dressed in cops. Kind of build on that idea where you already know where the story's going, but you don't really know where it's going yet. But you fucking know, dude. You played Postal 1, you understand what's actually going on here. Dude's going on a schizo meltdown. There's also these aliens with machine guns that are dressed like military men. It really builds this world out, and it really sucks that if you would have played the little delivery system earlier, and you're seeing all these military guys, you're seeing the cops walk around, people running around in jumpsuits, you would have been like, oh wow, I see where this is going. I see where the guy lost his mind. I get it now. But they really just kind of spawn out of nowhere, and it almost feels like they're really aliens spawning in. It causes a plethora of problems. One, you don't really utilize the entire layout of the map because you kind of just find a corner and let them funnel their way to you. It's the safest and smartest way to kill them. The other problem is it really ruins what the game's trying to do story-wise. So that means it's actually time to stop tonguing around the issue and actually hit the clit head on and talk about the actual story going on here. Yes, it does have a story and it's fine. I guess it's fine. Again, I think that its idea behind it, kind of going off of what Postal 1 did, was very smart. Now, if you don't know, Postal 1, he thinks all the cops are the bad guys. In his head, the military's trying to take over and he's trying to save the world from the military when in actual reality he's getting taken over by a demon. Now, in this game, it's kind of the same thing happening, except for the demon has convinced you that there's aliens invading, and these aliens are actually the cops, the military, random fucking guys that are just enjoying their jog on a Sunday afternoon, and you're murdering all of them. You are the bad guy. You are going postal. I like this idea of him losing his mind. I thought it was interesting, and when I first saw the first alien in the cop suit, I said that's where this game is fucking going. It just... At the same time, I'm like, are these aliens just dressing like humans because they think that we won't get it? Is this one of those they live situations? Because again, having them spawn in at random was really ruining the whole idea of where this game was going. To have that deeper meaning of sometimes people just lose their fucking mind and there's a health crisis in the world, if you want to get deep about it. Well, now I have this question of, is this just weird game design or are these actually fucking aliens? It's not just that you're killing killing all the aliens to save the world or whatever, your girlfriend's also held up at the post office. Feels like it would have been something out of the later Postal games, something like Postal 2 or 4, where you're actually having to go find something and do a job or whatever. But no. You were honestly stuck at the demon's wills to kill a certain amount of people to get to that point. It doesn't have any decisions in that regard, and when you do get to the post office after killing anybody and getting your final decision, it's like, do you kill her or do you save her? She has turned into an alien. And we all know what this fucking means. We get what it's saying. It's, she's not really an alien, you've lost your fucking mind. And you are then stuck with the decision, should you kill her or should you save her? Don't worry, I went through the game and played both of these, so I'm not going to just leave you with one ending. I'll show you both. Let's do the where we save her first. We don't shoot her. The game ends and says you die a hero. It whispers in your ear, yeah, you died thinking you were a hero because a bunch of gunshots ring off and you die. And then you get credits. That's it. You decided to not go full schizo, not shoot your favorite girl, the one that's pussy smelled so nice, and you are a hero. You died thinking you were saving the world from an alien invasion. There you go, Chief. You're the bad mamma jamma in town. Yeah, you decided not to kill the woman that obviously wasn't an alien. My first choice. I saw the lady on the ground, said I'm not gonna kill her. This has got to be the canon ending. This is the good ending, the ending that we should want to have. Nope, that's not it at all. Actually, it's the complete opposite. There was no production value put into this ending. If you do decide to kill her and blast her ass into another dimension where she came from because she's an alien, you then are locked up and taken to trial. That's right, because for some reason they're able to lock you up now, even though you've literally just postaled through 2 towns. Well, anyway, all actual logical questions aside, we get to the actual trial, and this is where a lot of my problems come from. Yeah, you're crazy. Yeah, you went postal. Sometimes people lose it. But that's not what the story this game wanted to tell. The actual better story? No. You get an info dump about how that energy drink you got from the Drachi machine at the beginning of the game actually had a rare chemical in it, and that chemical was reacted in your body, causing you to go crazy when you woke up. That's why you went postal and saw aliens. It wasn't because you were an absolute schizo crazy person, because no one should be going out of their home with a gun just shooting random people. I mean, people don't even do that on like crazy drugs, like real drugs. Not even fermented semen will cause you to do that. I actually don't know. Don't ferment your semen. But at the same time, it was just like so much information about this bad company. Companies are bad. You know about this chemical they're putting in? I did an investigation. I'm a fucking real journalist. I did an investigation on this company. And the judge basically just cuts this bitch off and says, yeah, this is fucking stupid. Yeah, it could have caused a little bit of this. The dude still killed a giant portion of our 2 towns here. He went to another town to kill more people and then murdered his own girlfriend because she looked kind of like an alien. She was on the ground pleading for her life, and he said, "Not today, alien bitch," and shot her in the head. It's dumb. This was a very, very dumb ending, and I know this is the canon ending because look at the production value. Dude made the cutscenes. He narrated them. He had like the cool bloody pictures like they're from Postal 1. It just was a dumb ending, and it feels like he had a decent understanding of Postal 1 and also really liked hatred and wanted to ask the question, what if instead of just killing innocent people like they're doing in the game, I made them aliens and he's going on a psychological trip due to a company? That's the question the game's asking, and it over-explains itself at the end of the game. It's not a wild understanding, it's nothing crazy, but the game thinks it's a lot more interesting than it is, and it does almost that creepy pasta bullshit where it's like, in case you missed it, let me lay the shit out for you because you don't have any critical understanding. Don't get me wrong, I'm shitting on this pretty hard here because, to be honest, I really don't like the game. I think it's kind of garbage, but there is things about this game that I think they did really well. When you first start the game and you're running around the town and you're finding people and flipping them off, and then you actually get to have these small interactions with the few NPCs you have, they're fun little interactions. I thought the characters were interesting. I think there's like an old angry black guy, there's a priest, and then I think there's a prostitute. And when you later go back to talk to him again, you get to do like other mini quests for him. Like the black guy, you go up and talk to him and he's like, this is pretty scary, aliens. And then he just dies. You don't kill him, he just has like a fucking heart attack and dies. I thought that was kind of funny. It it has these like interesting moments throughout the campaign that especially in the first opening section, that I'm like, yeah, this could have been really good. It had potential there. It's just the combat isn't fun, and I think the idea it's going with the story could have been very interesting and a thought-provoking experience, but it just kind of comes all over itself and calls itself a glazed donut when it's just a dude covered in cum. I really just thought that it shits the bed so hard on its ideas. The fact that the combat's so fucking tedious. The idea that making everything a hit scanner, they all function the same way, just some shoot one bullet and some shoot multiple bullets fast, and you never see where they're coming from because of the fucking draw distance. I get there's limitations on this engine. I 100% do, and he's an indie developer, probably a one-man team, but you can't look over glaring issues like this. I look at the DOS Man games, and yes, I understand that DOS Man has been doing it for a while and he's got a whole team under his belt, but he also publishes single studio or single developer teams, people like who made Reverend and the other guy who made Satan, and those two games are leagues and miles above this experience. The only thing I think that this game gets coverage on is the fact that it is a Postal tie-in game. He tied it to Postal, and you kind of have this fun, oh, it's a fun single dev Postal game, when it's not fun. To be honest, I was recommended this in a few different places from a few different people, and I have to say, I don't know what the fuck they thought when they were playing this, because the pistol's fucking awful, the shotgun's fucking awful, the enemies are annoying to fight, honestly, most of them take too long to kill, just everything about it pretty much sucks, other than the level design being impressive for this engine. The cutscenes are really cool for this engine, and the fact that it sort of tried to sell a story, even though it was a shit story, I will give it points for trying. A lot of FPS games don't try to do the story, especially if they're in the indie market, which I wish more would. It just really didn't fucking land. It didn't fucking land for me. I mean, maybe if you went back and retooled it, added some more levels, actually kind of condensed his fucking monologuing at the end and info dumping, it might have something here. I think that there is a diamond in this rough, but as it sits right now, I wouldn't fucking download this to your computer off of itch.io. And I know that's really harsh to say, but me, as a Postal fan, somebody who liked Postal 3, would not recommend this game to you, and I'm sorry, but I think that the guy's got potential, and I want to see him keep making games. And if he does one day look back at this game, maybe retool it where everything isn't tedious as fucking hell to get through. But that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.